What's up, guys, and welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club. In the last video, we basically started seeing a little bit of the supernatural part of this game come out. And, we basically shit-talked the whole time. I really don't even remember. We went to the club. We basically talked about, like, being blacklisted.
Would you rephrase this? We went to the club, then we got blacklisted.
And then we got blacklisted.
How'd you get blacklisted? I was with a bunch of girls. Shit!
We were with a bunch of girls. My mouse accidentally touched one of their boobs.
Went downhill from there.
We made fun of Alex Jones. It was a horrible time at the club.
I muttered quietly to myself, half joking.
Oh, also Grace here.
Fuck you.
I muttered quietly to myself, half joking.
Why you said that?
Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It sounds like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. If somebody would teach me. Someone beautiful like you.
Don't you hit on Yuri? I'll kick your fucking ass.
Boy murdered. Not boy murdered. Brother murdered by little brother for flirting with anime girl. That's going to be one of those news articles that Keemstar goes, "Welcome to the news! One small YouTuber murdered another YouTuber for flirting with his waifu."
I think the funny part is they don't get them joking.
Right. Well, that can change.
Yeah, that can change. I could not be joking right now.
But no.
What am I saying?
I know we get into such blacklisting, like, conversations. But I have to say, it's kind of weird that after everything, you know, with Leafy is here, all that shit. Have you noticed that Leafy is here? Quit. Grade A, under A, pretty much died. Like, his channel died, right?
Uh-huh.
And the two, like, the channel that both of them were trying to, like, boost up was Scares. Because that was the Keemstar drama alert killer. Yeah. Am I the only one that laughs that all three of those channels are dead and Keemstar is the only one still around?
Pretty much. It's funny.
It's hilarious in a way.
He is a cockroach, though.
I have to say, but he also has the kind of the Alex Jones syndrome, where it's like, you're only stupid if you take him seriously. Mm-hmm. He's a dude who reports on YouTube drama. He's not the Pope.
Thinking, and now I'm saying, after seeing Yuri's sad smile.
Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. I know I'm going to say this. Was she always wearing that? Here, let me just put my mouse here. The little vest.
Yeah, she always was.
Okay, that vest and that little red string around her neck seems like it's new to me.
No, it's not new. That's the uniform. All the characters wear that.
Okay, I thought that she was wearing that now. Like, both characters was wearing the red string around the neck. Because, you know, Sayuri. Mm-hmm. It'd be funny if every time I bring up Sayuri, I just take that clip of her hanging there and just play it there.
Sayuri. Just have, like, lightning, like, flashes, and it just shows it. And then goes back.
People be like, "I'm tired of seeing Sayuri die. She is my waifu." Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. See, that's actually where me and her agree. Because the only book that I really... Like, when I was in high school, I didn't read at all. Well, no shit.
No shit. I didn't even have to say it.
I mean, anybody who's watched this channel long enough knows that I probably am not the most well-read.
I read, like, series like The Lords of the Rings, The Sword of Sonara, and then many fantasy books, and then I went on to read more detective-based stuff, and, like...
See, that's what was so funny. It's, like, only time in high school that I would read, like, actually read... Mm-hmm. Was I read all of the Lord of the Ring books because I was a huge fucking nerd for Lord of the Rings.
I did not like Harry Potter, so it was like either or.
I see. I always loved the movies. Like if I'm sitting there, let's say I'm sitting on the couch, there's nothing to do, and Sci-Fi's doing the 7 Harry Potter movie marathon. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna sit and watch.
I cannot stand the movies nor the books.
I don't mind the
They're
movies.
good for kids, but I did not grow up reading and watching those movies, so I'm just too old for it.
And that's something that gets me. People will be like, "You're never too old for Harry Potter."
No, you can never be too old for Lords of the Rings because that's an adult.
With Harry Potter, it seemed like by the time I got the book, I was like 17, and I'm like, what do I give a shit about him and his fucking magical powers?
Because it's not magical. You're not a child reading it. You don't.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that, and then like I thought about every time I think about reading the books, where I'm like, you know what? I want to read the books. I'm gonna go buy the Sorcerer's Stone. J.K. Rowling does another one of her stupid stunts where it's like, Dumbledore's gay. This character was meant to be black. I didn't write her as black, but she was meant to be black.
The main thing for me is J.K.
Yes, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling.
Who you're thinking of is who wrote the book? It's like
Token.
Yeah, J.R.R. Token.
Like thinking for a second. Hold up. J.K. Rowling. She's kindly a hypocrite, and she's not willing to do what she says. I will respect someone even if they're on the opposition of my current opinion if they're willing to do it themselves.
Yeah, and that's something I still love. I don't know who the fuck said it. Probably PewDiePie.
It was a politician in Britain. He basically said, the 4 houses you own, why don't you take in the refugees?
No. I keep wanting to say it's Donald Trump because that sounds like some stupid shit he says on Twitter.
British politician, and he was a conservative.
But he was sitting there. I think it was an American politician. No. Where she was sitting there going, "Why America? Can't you take in some refugees?" Blah blah blah.
Yeah, we'll buy you the tickets, but you have to take care of them in your houses.
Yeah, and it's like, you have 4 houses, bitch. Why don't you adopt some refugees?
Yeah, and the funny part is if she wants to do that, they have diplomatic immunity. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Hmm. But let's not get sidetracked.
Yeah, no, I don't want to get into political. We're already blacklisted, so.
Yeah, we might as well continue on.
But no, what I was saying is, it's like with the books, I never really got into them. And I didn't really get into Lord of the Rings, like, book-wise, until, like, The Hobbit came out. The original, like, the first movie. It was literally the beginning of the journey or some stupid shit they called it. I watched the first movie and was like, hey, this is not too bad. I want to read the Hobbit book.
Mom had the movie playing on, like, when we went to bed.
I think you're thinking of Star Wars.
No, it was Lords of the Ring because I remember distinctly the opening cinematic where they're forging the ring.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know I watched a shit ton of Star Wars. Everybody says the prequels. I've seen 1, and I've seen the ending to 3. I've never watched the prequels all the way through, so I have no opinion.
I watched them. They're decent, but they're not as good as the originals.
Yeah, because I watched the first 3, first 3, 4, 5, and 6. But 4, 5, and 6, and then I watched 1, 2, and 3. I mean, 1. I used to love 1, because 1 came out when I was in like, I don't know. We used to have it on VHS, so I was like 5-ish. I for the fucking life of me, I can't remember the last time I watched a movie on VHS.
The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me.
The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. That and Stephen King. That's what I was trying to get to. Was the only 2 series of books I would read was Lord of the Rings. And I would read like everything Stephen King put out. Like, still to this day, like if I'm sitting there at the grocery store and he has one of his books out, like that just came out, I'll buy it.
I personally do not enjoy his books as much. I liked his older stuff, but not his newer.
I don't know. I mean, I do like some of his newer stuff, but I can't compare like Mr. Mercedes to something like Pet Sematary or The Shining. I'm doing that joke on purpose. That's what the Simpsons called it, was the shinning, because you don't want to get a copyright strike. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes lit up as she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. I don't trust your eyes, bitch. Keep your eyes off me. Isn't it amazing? Poke your eyes out. For anybody who's wondering, and I get yelled at in the comments, that was great. Isn't it amazing how a writer can be so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Yeah, bitch, I've heard this before. I kind of am used to this by now. The complete for a loop.
He's not the smartest.
Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. See, that's something I brought up. I was wanting to talk about, but I'll talk about later.
The game knows what you're saying.
I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Ahaha, I would expect that from you, Yuri. It suits your personality. I don't trust her. I like her hair clip, though. It's kind of cute. Okay, so maybe they all do wear it.
That's what... You're just looking at their tits now.
No. I really just noticed the fucking sweater. Why would I... If I was staring at their tits the whole time, why would I have just now noticed the sweater?
You just now got comfortable to do it without me calling it out.
Right. Uh-huh.
You're smiling.
This is what makes us 8 hours of playing this game, and I just now got comfortable enough to look at it. I think we've met each other.
Series.
Actually...
Wow, these tits are finally bouncing at episode 63.
No. It's funny because the first fucking episode of Peach Beach Splash, they played that movie of all the girls dancing, and their tits are just jiggling everywhere. Stop, just skip it through it. But as I was saying, their tits are just jiggling everywhere because I didn't know what I was getting into when I bought the game for the channel.
Really?
And I didn't. I never even heard of the series. I literally went to the guy at GameStop and said a game that came out in the last month or two that was anime based. Because remember, I was originally recording Danganronpa.
Yeah.
But it was so funny because that first moment, and they're just jiggling everywhere, and I'm like, my first reaction was, what the fuck did I sign myself up for this time? It's like you walk into a club, it's like, yeah, we go into the club, we party, and then you just walk in, and there's guys tied to the chair getting their ass beat with a paddle, and you're like,